Hey everybody, we got back from Costa Rica around midnight last night and we were extremely tired. It was a long day of travel. But the good news is that we were able to bring back 35 to 40 pounds of tuna. So with that, we decided we were going to keep some fresh and ready to make sushi to show you guys how we make sushi rolls. It's a fairly easy process, and I'm going to cut it over to Megan here in a minute and she's going to show you how to do it. The reason that I'm talking right now and not Megan is that somebody didn't put on as much sunscreen as they should have and their face is a little red.
And peeling.
And peeling. But anyways, we're going to cut over to Megan. She's going to show you how to do this. She's awesome and I'm so excited.
Hey everybody, Scott said earlier, we brought back probably around 35, 40-ish pounds of tuna. I'll weigh it all out officially tomorrow and then calculate in a little bit for everything that we gave away from the tunas that we did keep. So, we came back from Costa Rica. I am sunburnt as all crap. Even though I did use sunblock, I did. So, this is the fresh tuna. Right now, we're going to make two different types of sushi. We're going to do a tuna and avocado roll, and then everybody's favorite spicy tuna roll. I put my own twist on it. One thing I want to show you for avocados, which is pretty cool, if you're ever making sushi or you need to cut them in general. So, you're going to take your avocado and your knife, and you're going to go like all the way around it like you normally do. And when that's done, you're going to go and you're going to flip it and you're going to do the other side. So you're going to like quarter it, essentially. And once you do that, you can come in and you can actually just peel the skin off. And you don't lose anything. It's not like when you go in and you try to like carve it out with a knife or something. It pops off really, really easily. And it creates a very clean look. And this is particularly good if you're using it for like sushi or sashimi. Somebody showed me this trick a while back, and I've used it pretty much ever since. So as you can see, it's all quartered up and it's nice and gooey, and you can just literally separate it out cleanly from the avocado here. So we've got our avocado here. We're going to go in and we're just going to make some thin slices. Just kind of like that, as you can see. You got some really thin slices of it, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish the rest of this and put it in the bowl. Okay, so we've got the avocado all cut up. We also have the other ingredients set out. You're going to want some dried seaweed. We get this from the local Asian mart. You're going to want a sushi mat. This is just a little bamboo mat. We got them off of Amazon. It was like maybe 50 cents. We bought 6 of them at a time. I wrap it in saran wrap because I like the rice on the outside and that helps to prevent it from sticking. We also have our cucumber back here. We have some black and white sesame seeds. We have our sushi rice, and I'll include the recipe I use for the sushi rice down at the bottom. We're also going to be making spicy tuna as well as our tuna and avocado rolls. So back here I've got some chopped tuna, and this is the sauce, the spicy mayo sauce that I use for the spicy tuna rolls. So to begin, you're going to take your sushi mat and you're going to lay it down. Make sure that it's all the way open. You're going to take your first piece of seaweed. And you can see these are fairly large, so I come in here usually and break them in half. It's just a lot easier for me personally. I am not like a professional sushi chef. There are a lot of guys out on YouTube that you can watch that do some amazing sushi stuff. Me, this is just easier for me. So you're going to take your bamboo mat, face it the way that it's going to be rolled. You are going to place your seaweed on the board, however which way you want to roll it. If you want to roll it this way or you want to roll it this way, I prefer pretty much lengthwise. Then you're going to take your sushi rice and you're going to put it right on top. Sometimes this can get sticky. Sushi rice is made with a short grain rice, and that helps to make it so that it clumps together like this versus your long grain jasmine rice, for example. So I'm just going to put this on. And you want to leave a little bit of corner space around the rice for the seaweed. We're going to wet that later on and try to help everything stick together. Now you can put on as much or as little rice as you want. I kind of like a lot of rice around mine, so I put a decent amount on and leave just a little bit of space, enough to seal everything at the end. Okay, so that's about as much rice as I'm going to put on. Now at this stage I'm just going to dip my fingers in here because my fingers are a little slimy. This is just a little bit of water that I keep. We're going to sprinkle on some of the toasted black and white sesame seeds. This is going to add a nice little crunch for you. You can also, you know, when you're done, top it off with a little bit of the roe that they sell in the sushi markets or in the Asian markets. We're just going to go ahead and pat that down. Now once that's done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip it over and we're going to stuff it. So I've got my cucumbers. You want to make sure that these are pretty thin. We're just going to place it in the center. One thing when you're making sushi rolls, don't do what I do all the time inevitably and end up overstuffing it. So I'm going to make sure that I don't overstuff it this time. I've got my strips of Yellowfin Tuna, and I cut these a little small so that way I could, you know, measure them out and make it pretty fat. And now we're going to go ahead with our thin sliced avocado. So we've got our filling in. We're going to go ahead and use our bamboo mat, and we're going to roll it up. So after our initial roll, we're going to squeeze it tight. We're going to pull the mat down. We're just going to wet this seaweed a little bit, and what this does is it helps it stick for the other part of this. So then we can come up, and we're going to pull this down to the edge of your cutting board, and then we're going to finish rolling it. And when that's done, we're going to squeeze it again. And squeezing it's going to help the rice and everything stick to itself and really seal that roll in. So as you can see here, we've got a nice little roll. So we've rolled this out onto our cutting board. And here's the big thing. When you're cutting sushi or fish in general, you want a really sharp fish knife, like a good fillet knife. Now, you want to wet the blade a little bit. And you can do this by running it underwater or just wetting your fingers and putting it on the top of the blade. Do not put it on the bottom of the blade. You will lose a finger. So come up here, and we're just going to slowly slice through it. And you can see what the inside of the sushi roll looks like right there. And you want to pair them up before you cut them again, because this is going to help you make sure that you get even slices. So halves and halves. Cuts right through. And then you can make these ones a little bit smaller as well. So here's our first sushi roll, all plated up. This is the tuna, avocado, cucumber roll. Put a little soy sauce, a little wasabi. This didn't take very long to make. I am not a professional sushi chef. There's a bunch of other people on YouTube that are. They go into great detail and offer a lot of different tips and tricks. If you're interested in learning more about it. This is just something that's very simple that, you know, you can come home at night and make. If you keep sushi rice on hand, it takes 12 minutes in the Instant Pot plus 10 to 22 minutes to make a giant pot of sushi rice that will make probably 15, 20 rolls. And each of these rolls, when you go to a sushi restaurant by us, is about $6.50. So you can make a lot of sushi for cheap at home as long as you're, you know, harvesting your own fish and such. You still even make it cheaper if you buy it from a nice Asian market. It's still cheaper than going to a sushi restaurant. It's just a couple of little techniques and a couple of really good fresh ingredients. This here probably cost for one roll under $1 because I used one slice of an avocado, one slice of a cucumber, and a little bit of rice and seaweed, and the fish was free. So probably more around like 50 cents to make one roll versus $5.56 at a sushi restaurant. So after this, we're going to go in and I'm going to show you how to make our second favorite roll, which is the spicy tuna roll. And that's what this here is for. So you just saw us make a cucumber, avocado, and tuna roll. Now we're going to make what is my personal favorite, and I hope is several other people's personal favorite, the spicy tuna roll. Very, very easy to make. This is the tuna that we used for the cucumber roll, so I'm just going to move it off to the side. On that note, guys, if you're ever using or utilizing fresh fish, or you're making sushi, keep it cold. It's the same with any kind of meat. Anytime you're working with food, keep it cold, keep it clean. So this is the cubed meat. This is cubed tuna that I took off of the excess from the slices I had. Normally, a lot of people use the tail end of the tuna tenderloin for this. That tends to have more muscle in it, so you'll see people where they chop it up and then scrape it with a spoon off, and they'll use that for the spicy tuna. I didn't have any tail ends that I had saved, so I just used the regular tuna. Some people are going to call this sacrilegious. Just wait till they see what I put in my spicy mayo. It will enrage spicy tuna enthusiasts and sushi enthusiasts. So we've got our cubed tuna here. It's on ice. Right here we have our secret sauce. So this is the spicy tuna sauce, and it's really not all that secret. So the vast majority of recipes call for 1 part mayonnaise and 1 part sriracha. A little bit of lime juice. Some call for sugar. Some call for a little vinegar. My personal favorite, 1 part mayonnaise, 1 part sriracha, some homemade hot sauce that I make out of scorpion peppers. If you don't have homemade hot sauce, just use whatever your favorite brand of hot sauce is, about a tablespoon of it. And here's where everyone's going to get angry. I use sweet chili sauce. So I put about a tablespoon of sweet chili sauce into mine. That way you get sweet, you get salty, you get creamy. I personally like it. Give it a try. A lot of people are going to be like, no, you can't put sweet chili sauce in it. I love it. So we have our mix made here. We're just going to go ahead and put the tuna, the cubed tuna, into it. Put this back here. And then we're going to go ahead and mix it up. Just like we did before, we're going to put the seaweed onto our bamboo mat. I'm moving it a little closer to the edge this time. That's the way it's supposed to be done. I screwed that up the last time. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to wet our fingers and we're going to put the sushi rice on top of the seaweed wrap. Now, while I do this, an interesting fact that you guys might not know is that the vast majority of the sushi that is sold in the United States comes from previously frozen fish. A lot of people don't actually know that. The reason for it is that there are FDA requirements that if fish is to be served raw, it has to be frozen to a negative temperature for a certain number of hours or days, depending on which negative Fahrenheit temperature it has. And the reason for this is that it kills the parasites that might be in any fresh fish. And that's a horrifying thought, frankly, to me. So if you're eating this fresh, just make sure that you hold it up to a light beforehand. Check and see if you see any parasites. We typically don't take very large fish. We prefer the medium to smaller fish because the chances of not only heavy metals, but of parasites are also quite a bit lower the younger the fish is. So I held all the tuna that we had up to a light, made sure there was no parasites in it before we decided to make sushi. Freezing it inside your home freezer and hoping that it's going to kill the parasites, that doesn't work. You have to get it down to a negative Fahrenheit. We typically will use dry ice to do it if we're doing it in big batches. If not, make sure you're making sushi at home, make sure you buy sushi grade tuna from a good vendor. You don't want to get parasites and you don't want to get sick, so make sure you get good quality stuff. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the sesame seeds again back on top. We're going to smooth those out a bit. Press the rice down. And we're going to go ahead and we are going to flip it over. And now we are going to load it with this awesome, awesome spicy tuna mixture. And because I am a glutton for punishment, I'm going to add avocado as well. Just a little bit, because I like it creamy. Again, not your traditional spicy tuna roll, but to me, I enjoy it.
And for all those keto fans out there, this is right on the cusp of what you're allowed to eat for dinner.
You can also go ahead and add a slice of cucumber in if you want a little crunch. With this, I'm just going to add the avocado. But you can add a little cucumber or whatever is, floats your boat inside of the spicy tuna roll. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll it. And we're going to squeeze, 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 just like we did last time. We're going to open it up a bit. We're going to wet that last little bit here. And then we're going to finish rolling the sushi. So once we've squeezed it down, you want to make sure that rice sticks to everything nicely. We're going to uncover it. And here's your sushi roll. So here's our spicy tuna roll, and just as with the last one, we're going to cut it down the center with our nice sharp borderline wet blade. Cut it in half again. And then we're going to cut each of those quarters a little bit more. And now we're going to go ahead and plate it up, and I'll show you the finished product. So here we have our finished product. We have our cucumber, tuna, and avocado roll, and our spicy tuna and avocado roll. We've got our dipping sauce, which consists of sesame oil, a little bit of sesame oil, a lot of soy sauce, a little bit of green onion, and of course, everybody's favorite, the wasabi. So if you like this video, guys, please like it, subscribe, comment below, and remember, dinner is waiting. Go and get it.